5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom shakalaka, mother huggers. Welcome to the Tangents. My name is Jared.
And my name is Dane. And today we have a guest with us.
The first guest on the Tangents. Welcome, Mr Shale. It's a pleasure to have you here. We really appreciate it.
Evening, guys. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Looking forward to it.
Yes, and today we're talking about cannabis. And all that might... what's the word I'm looking for?
Entail?
Perhaps. Yeah. Well, we're looking to have an open, light, and hopefully informative conversation about cannabis and things involved in cannabis.
Perhaps
and
also what it means to us. How
it means to
How
us.
it's affected us. A few opinions here and there on certain aspects of cannabis.
And the legality of it and how that's working out in Colorado, etc. and whatever. But first of all, let's talk about a disclaimer. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying things, and don't hold it against me. So, yeah, that's me putting it out there.
Yeah, and regarding my disclaimer, I would say, I don't have much of a clue of what's going on right now.
And please do not try this at home.
If I may, I'd like to ask Shale a question. Shale, when you think of cannabis, what comes to your mind?
Sure.
Like the chemical or the plant, the shape of the plants, or...
I think of the struggle for freedom.
Jesus.
Sure, wow.
Okay. Wow.
Cannabis is nature, and we find ourselves in a position where it's put in a cage. I mean, the most dangerous thing about cannabis is getting caught with it.
That's true.
No deaths from smoking.
Yeah.
Yet you have many other substances, cigarettes, alcohol, prescription drugs. All these other things are legal,
Xanax,
in fact,
etc.
promoted. A lot
Pushed.
of them, alcohol is a deeply entrenched part of many cultures, and yet cannabis is banned and vilified.
But compared to alcohol, the statistical or measurable negative stuff that happens with cannabis is like nothing compared to
Minimal.
what's going on with drunk driving or
Domestic
fighting,
violence.
domestic violence.
Fecal
Fecal
transplants, that's another episode. Find that one in the
backlog.
fetal alcohol syndrome.
Fetal alcohol syndrome. Yeah, these are serious topics. We're not trying to make light of them, but we're just to bring it into perspective compared to... well, let me say this. I would, for myself, I'd say don't... You guys we might butt heads on this podcast, but feel free to cut me off or to not agree with me. But I would say, if you're a youngster, avoid cannabis while taking the actual THC as a drug until you, let me just put an age number on it, 18, because I believe that your mind might get affected negatively, and when you're 18, then you can try it, you know. So it's not, you know, because cannabis also, it's just weed, you know. But there are some people that have problems with cannabis, but we're actually not talking about that.
There's also the whole story of whether it can catalyze latent underlying mental health issues.
Yeah, what's it like? 1 in 10 or supposed to be something like that?
But I'm not too sure on the actual scientific evidence for that.
Is that about like in the future, like when you're older, or is it like just certain people have that in them and it could trigger something?
That's how I understand it. If it's sort of latent, like kind of lying dormant type thing, and then something like prolonged cannabis use. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 puffs or whatever. But I imagine it's, you know, if you're using it over a longer period, then supposedly it can trigger a certain...
Yeah.
Or maybe is that just another one of these urban legends, this propaganda? I don't know.
How do we know? But it's fair to say that cannabis is less harmful than alcohol, right? Can we all agree on that?
Yeah, there's definitely less of like...
Or is this also another... Where are we pulling these things out of, you know? Like, if we're going to have an open discussion about it.
Maybe anecdotal. I mean, how many fights do you see from alcohol? You know, the whole geezers need excitement. If their lives can't provide them with this, they incite violence.
Yeah, brilliant quote by Mike Skinner there. And it's a real thing, you know. People, it seems to fuel violence, because it's probably got to do with the fact that all your inhibitions get like chucked out the window.
Yeah, and there's also a very doesn't it like heighten people's like ego or like sense of just like arrogance and shit like that, or in some people, I guess, like not everybody.
I've seen it,
but it does definitely exaggerate some of those more negative character traits in people,
tendencies.
Like I myself, I'm a pretty chilled person. When I drink, I chill out more. Maybe once or twice in my life I've had like sudden bursts of energy or emotion while being pissed. Can't say I've ever felt that on pot.
Pot's like a different high. Like, you know, it depends though, because that's the thing, there's so many different kinds of pot these days. Well, let's talk about synonyms. Pot, mountain cabbage, dacha, spliff,
electric spinach,
weed,
ganja, reefer.
Yes.
You say that one?
No, I haven't.
Devil's lettuce.
Yes. That's
spliff. Did we say spliff?
I think you said that one.
Oh.
We can't surely only come up with 7. It's got to be
the reefer, the bud, the sweet Mary Jane.
Yeah, Mary Jane.
Twak.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Dacha,
said that.
No, you said that.
Pondu, Swazi, but then you're going into your strains.
Yeah. Herb.
Herb.
On the whole devil's, what did you call it?
Devil's lettuce.
Yeah. Apparently, well, I just actually looked it up on the way here, and I believe it's Genesis 1:29 or something. It says something like, you know, God said, you can have all seed-bearing herbs. And then, so, you know, that's why weed is the devil's weed. Because it's like you can have all, like God said, you can have all seed-bearing herbs. And then people were like, except for that one, you know?
Can we fact check that, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Genesis.
I think I might probably still have the link open here. You can have Genesis 1:29. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant throughout the earth and all the fruit trees for your food.
Sure.
Like he's talking to us.
Yeah.
Like he's children.
To Adam and Eve, the metaphorical humankind. Yeah.
So he's basically saying smoke weed.
Well...
Yeah.
I think that was Dr. Dre, or was it? Just on that note of the devil's weed.
But it's, we've never had a Bible quote, so I'm hoping we could have more.
I mean, it's more of a thing where people are sitting on couches, not all the time, and that actually brings it back to one of you were saying, you know, maybe until people are 18 and something like that, to give it a bash, maybe hold off.
Would you agree with that?
To a certain degree, I would definitely. Like, I think maybe this is just based on my own experience, but I think it's fair to say that you can observe this in other people as well. Yeah. That it is something that, if you're not careful, or you know,
it's like everything, really.
Well, the whole couch vibe, you know, couch lock. It's
one of the negative effects of marijuana.
I mean, it's great
usage.
if you still smoke and like do something. You know, maybe if your hobby or your passion, like making music or some art or something like that. And I think many people do have those positive effects. You know, but on the other hand, there is the possibility of just getting stoned and kind of like being happy with being bored in a way.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
So it's guys like series binging, Netflix and chill, basically.
Yeah.
Like you're spending 8 hours watching television a day or something like that.
And then you get into the whole realm of like, well, who's to say that's wrong? You know, who
Yeah,
am I to
exactly,
say that someone
exactly.
shouldn't
I think-
binge series? But I mean, are they truly happy?
Yes. Yes.
Are they moving
Or
any
can-
closer to? Do they have goals? Are they moving any closer to their goals by?
Well, his goal's the next series.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't the whole kind of Earth's population or people with televisions binge series? Like, isn't that like a normal thing? It's not necessarily pot related.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be.
But
Because a lot of
it
people
does-
won't have access to Netflix.
Yeah, but it does definitely like dull motivation a little bit. Like you might be, from personal experience, it's like you might be up for doing something and then you decide not to because you feel too lethargic, you know, or like just kind of demotivated in a way to make an effort. Yeah,
Just happy to be like,
yeah, I'll do that
Yeah,
tomorrow,
man.
man.
It's like, is that a bad thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
if you're getting pissed, then it's like, oh man, I don't know. I think you're probably a lot worse off, you know? Or then you could also just be getting pissed and getting couch lock.
yeah, I don't know.
That's a kind of sad pissed, isn't it? Like not that kind
Yeah,
of...
drinking alone, and you know you have a problem. But this is the thing. We're talking about cannabis here. Obviously, the discussion, or it's going to be compared to other drugs as well. So let's take alcohol as an example.
Yeah.
There will be that guy getting couch lock through alcohol. That's like you just said. That's like a sad. This guy's
Like dronk verdriet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like a
he's-
depressive...
you know, but then again, if we have that same put that same scenario, but as a pot smoker, it's not that bad actually. Well, for me personally, but now that I think about it, it is. But it depends. Is he hurting it? Like, has he got family? You know.
Yeah.
What
Like-
that's like?
Either
What
one.
are the negative consequences?
For me, it would be like if it's just him and he's like sorted and he pays his taxes. You know.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't have a problem with that at all.
But it's
Even if he's drinking, really, it's sad.
seems-
But
But I think maybe I've just got like a weird or a certain perception of it. But like you can maintain kind of I don't know, maintain like your mind and your I know it's not that destructive to be like a long-term smoker that chills at home a lot smoking, but a long-term drinker that chills at home a lot drinking. That seems like it's potentially more. It has more like gravitas. It can like do more damage or
well, physically,
physically.
as that's I'd say. Well, I mean, I guess smoking isn't great in any respect. Like putting
Edibles?
stuff into your lungs. Yeah, but edibles or maybe like vaping.
Yeah.
That'd be less so than I think that the actual act of like burning something and putting it into your lungs, you know. But then I mean, alcohol affects so many aspects of the body. you know.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's like more kind of physically destructive even,
Seems
and
like
maybe
it.
even mentally too. I don't know. Maybe part is just the memory thing. Or-
if I
Degenerative.
can just change the subject a little bit.
Go for it.
What is the legal status of cannabis usage in South Africa?
It's illegal.
Okay. Have there been, like, at the moment, are there court cases in place that would challenge that status?
The Dacha couple are doing quite a lot.
And they're like a couple that's into Dacha and they
Yeah.
are challenging that law.
Yeah.
About the whole, you said outright it is illegal, but is that true now currently? Didn't the High Court rule in that case about? They said it's fine to have a
there
couple
was that
plants
big
personal
trial.
use.
It was more like
Something like
that. It was a ruling
Mm-hmm.
that the law against, cannabis for personal use,
Yeah.
like in your home or whatever, is unconstitutional.
Okay.
Yeah, so now apparently the state has 2 years from the time of that ruling to appeal that.
Okay.
And if they don't, then it will kind of be like the law is like more likely to be up for
Okay.
reconsideration or something.
All right. So it's not legal yet. It's just on the path to it potentially.
It's like a step in the right
Yeah.
direction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is still illegal, as you stated.
Yeah.
Do you think that like it'll get to a point where they'll legalize it?
I think so. I mean, it seems like medicinal is quite close. There's applications being made to grow. So I guess, I mean, that just shows. But I think that will have to be very highly regulated. I know in Lesotho there's already people growing for medicinal, but obviously Lesotho is in South Africa.
Landlocked within, eh?
Yeah. Country
Within
within
mountains.
country.
It's an interesting one, eh?
Lesotho, Swaziland.
It's
Any
like-
others?
Mm-mm.
Nowhere else. Is that unique to this
I think so.
instance?
Yeah.
What?
A country within a country.
Yeah. A country completely surrounded by one other country.
Can't be unique. There must be more of them, eh? I'm
Do
not
you
sure.
know of others? Where's little
It's like a nipple.
Bow Wow? Get little Bow Wow on it.
Be interesting fact check.
Yeah. Anyway,
What do
Lesotho,
we
it's
do?
like a mountain country, right? Like very mountainous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and
Herders,
the
blankets.
blankets. Very
They-
famous for their blankets.
Yeah, Lesotho blankets. The herdsmen wear
Yeah,
them.
that's the Drakensberg, isn't it?
Uh,
Is it?
what?
The range that runs through Lesotho, or
Ah.
where Lesotho is on a mountain range, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like it's just
And
mountainous.
is it the Drakensberg mountain range?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
I'm not sure.
Uh,
Yeah, could be.
yeah, let's say that it is.
Just to
Yeah.
add more information to
to
Lesotho. Otherwise, what else could one say about Lesotho? Maybe, I mean, it's interesting. Nobody really talks about it that much.
Mm.
I think a lot of the local people sustain themselves via cannabis, just to bring it back to the topic. So,
Sorry, do you mean like earning potentials or like?
yeah, there's a lot
Okay.
of
Similar
cannabis
to
grown in Lesotho.
Yeah.
similar
And
to
It's
Swaziland.
exported maybe.
Yeah,
Is it? They also grow a lot of weed, don't they?
they do. Swazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking about landlocked countries, but there's a whole long list of them, so it tells me that landlocked probably isn't the right thing to look for.
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Andorra, Armenia, Austria,
That's just
Azerbaijan,
countries that aren't on the
Belarus,
coast.
Bhutan,
Bhutan.
Bolivia, Botswana.
What is it? The happiest country in the world, isn't it?
Really?
Bhutan. I
Yeah.
think so.
Really?
Why? Is that in the Himalayas?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about old Bangui?
Bangui. Where the fuck is Bangui?
That was one of your catchphrases, man. I still got that on a video somewhere. Drop me off in Bangui. Jeez. I think it was some like travel journalist, like.
But it
war.
sounds like a real place. Could it
Yeah,
be?
and I think it's more of a city though, or
Bangui.
I don't think it's a country.
Yeah.
Maybe a region. And talking about happy countries,
Mm.
Costa Rica doesn't have a military. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, there's something pretty damn cool about that, I think. Yeah.
But this kind of ties in with what we're talking about, because it seems like there's like an international opening up to cannabis. Like even more so since it's been legalized in all these states in America.
Yeah, it does seem
And
like
that and like I don't think it is just. I think that's just the thing that opens the door for a more liberal or let's say alternative way of government almost, or if you know what I mean. Like,
do you mean with them slackening the laws on
yeah,
art?
like they're becoming more, they're questioning rules basically,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's been illegal for so many years, and now they're to change the rules like that just makes, for me, it makes me think, well, what's up with other rules? Like, why can't we just, like, let's look at all of them?
Yeah. Because a lot of them would be there for some maybe either like archaic reason
Exactly.
or just something that was like, because wasn't pot like a bullshit law?
That's the whole thing. It was. Well, some people think that the industrial applications of cannabis were one of the real reasons behind the whole banning.
Yeah.
So there was Harry Anslinger, who was the head of the DEA, and then there was DuPont. There was DuPont Chemicals, still one of the top 5 like companies out there, and DuPont, Harry Anslinger, and there was another dude with newspaper
it was
magnate.
like a paper mill dude or
paper
something.
magnate. And apparently they didn't want to see cannabis threatening their industries and profits and stuff.
Due to hemp, like the textiles you can create from hemp and whatnot. So,
And paper.
So they banned it.
Yeah.
They banned it out of like not wanting to lose out, like it was going to fuck with their profits and shit. That was the reason.
Well, that's what hemp activists will tell you.
Yeah, okay.
And from that point, the drug industry started, basically.
But then you had all these propaganda campaigns, marijuana, the assassin of youth, and that kind of thing. And it was actually quite racist a lot of the time. Harry Anslinger dude, they said stuff like that smoking weed will make white women want to have sex with black men. And it was like the filthy jazz musicians and the dirty Mexicans and.
But wasn't that before the civil rights movement? It was like they were pretty racist. In America
this was. I think it was in the 40s.
No thanks. Because they always like. Because we like to think back on South Africa's history, apartheid in particular. It's like a thing that happened. Everybody knows about it. But like in the States, they also had their kind of like segregation laws and protests, but they never had it wasn't like called anything, so because it's still going on to this day, which is also happening in South Africa. It's just the fact that we have a beginning and end basically for when it was
formalized,
legal. It was written in the law books to be a racist bastard. Like if you're not a racist bastard,
we have a problem with you.
We have a problem with you. Like regardless of what your color is.
That's hectic. Yeah, but you were saying there that in America it was more like under the radar because it wasn't formalized. Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that at all.
Okay, I was thinking that. Yeah.
No, I just thought, because Shale was talking about these characters that were started with the hemp, but before that, was it legal or what was?
Sure, I'm not sure. I guess was it kind of out there and not really known about? I would imagine if it was all banned at that point, then beforehand it must have sort of been around, but
maybe it just had like a bit of a bad stigma attached to it or something, because it made
dirty.
It's like being a drunkard, like people would look stoned.
But that stigma,
like
I had that stigma when I was like young, probably just maybe because I was young, but
and that's what you get told, like
I still
cultural conditioning.
I still encounter quite a lot of people that have that idea of people who use marijuana.
Well, it's deeply entrenched. You can't. A lot of we absorb all these things that are put out there via the media and stuff like that. So it's really important to try and filter it, but a lot of stuff just gets past the filter sometimes.
There's a lot of things. Sorry, just on that. There's a lot of things that are like deeply entrenched in like our minds, from passed down through generations of people thinking a certain way or believing like certain rules or ideas that were created like a long time ago, and not only like formalized rules, but like public perception on things. Like you were saying when you were young, that's what was passed down to you because it's been passed down through like loads of generations. It's like ingrained. Like, how do you fucking pull those kind of train track sleepers out of your head? It's like so deep.
It's
nuts. Like, people need to be able to like kind of break ideas or I don't know, some of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when it's so difficult to like try and bring people around to a certain, you know, way of thinking or whatever, because a lot of the time people will just dig their heels in
Yeah.
deeper, and you know, because then you're
'Cause it's
kind of
truth
coming at them saying like,
already.
what do you think is wrong, what I think is right, you must believe what I believe, kind of thing, you know. Even like, and then again, like, who is to decide what is right? But something like, come on, if you know, with all the benefits that cannabis has medicinally, and you know, like all the industrial applications, like for building and nutrition, and you know, all the job creation that could come with it, you got to say that it would be a positive thing across the board, you know, to kind of let it flourish.
Yeah, but you didn't mention recreational drug. It's an awesome recreational drug.
Yeah.
It's much better than alcohol.
Yeah.
In what criteria?
Like if you just want to get a buzz.
Yeah.
You know, some people have a glass of wine, some people have a bottle of wine.
Yeah. But
if you could just get your buzz by, well, we're talking about the difference in between these two people.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it comes down to the initial thing that we said about cannabis and you know, comparing it to alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like you smoke, like if I consume for recreational use marijuana, yeah, there's also no difference. But in some people's minds, there's a big difference. But you know, it's just the same as your glass of wine or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has the stigma, which it shouldn't have. But I think I reckon it's getting more chilled out. But there's,
I would say it's
since it's been legalized in so many places.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a lot more mainstream in terms of like, well, I suppose maybe it always has been to a degree. Like, when was Cheech and Chong and like that type of thing? You know,
it was like 70s.
Something like that, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But
they had a weird
now.
promotion of it, like the wacky kind of, kind of funny side of it. Obviously, they were fucking comedians, but I mean, compared to like these days, it's like serious business, like especially the medicinal and stuff like that, and the kind of non recreational uses of it. That's like quite professionally pushed these days. Which is a positive for the whole movement, I think.
And weed humor also. That's also like a genre these days. Like
beautiful thing.
Weeds, for example, that series.
Totally.
But hold on, what were we talking about? Cannabis, right? Okay. So we've decided that yes, it's basically no different to alcohol. You need to treat it with respect. And we're hoping that it's going to be legalized soon. And also these other things that are happening with not just the recreational use, but
industrial, medicinal.
All that, medicinal also, especially. So
another interesting aspect, sorry if I can just back in there, is the indigenous people's, rights. Like in South Africa, you have certain cultures who have been using cannabis spiritually and also medicinally, for many years, like going way back. So kind of preventing that from happening is also kind of interfering with culture.
But it happens anyway. I mean, the Khoisan are still enjoying their puff.
Well, that's the thing. Making something illegal never really stopped it, did it?
No.
Yeah.
Because
just made it more dangerous to get hold of it. Pretty much, like, isn't
black markets, and you have to go and like your kid has to go stand on like a corner somewhere and wait for, I don't know, maybe that would be with other stuff, but it definitely is more dangerous than if it would be. And also then with legalization there could be regulation and making sure quality is up to a certain standard,
taxing it, and it's like a huge positive. Isn't like some places in the States are like
Colorado
they're making big like tax bucks off of that.
I read that the tax for cannabis surpassed the tax for alcohol.
Seriously? Jeez.
That was, I think, sometime last year maybe. And
that's rad, because that's shit money that can go back into, like, I don't know, parks. That sort of thing, schools, etc.
Exactly. I saw an article today about there was a couple of hundred college students that their studies are being subsidized by cannabis
Nice.
tax income.
Awesome.
And I might be wrong on this, but I believe Colorado is the state with the highest amount of new residents or people moving to
Oh, really?
Colorado. Yeah, because it's fueling the whole state.
Yeah.
So there's jobs.
And people want to go smoke weed legally. Why? But there's a few places that are legal now in the States, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
LA or so, no?
California.
Somewhere in California. Or
I
is
think
it
that was from the first.
I don't know if they
this
had a
year.
recent thing. I'm not sure if they're allowed to now, but then it's Colorado.
Washington.
Is really Washington?
That there's 2 Washingtons.
I think I'm thinking of the one with the White House in it. Isn't that Chicago, right?
I don't think so.
DC.
How do we get to American geography?
Yeah, I mean,
Louisiana's
you pick up
down
a couple
south,
little bits
right?
and pieces here and there from like series and stuff. Never really.
Well, I think we could get. I mean, don't cut yourself off short there, because I think our knowledge is, like, come on, a lot of people out there wouldn't know where. Like, if I ask you where on the map is Florida, would you be able to tell me?
Yeah.
And Shale will probably also
Florida down south, right?
Yeah.
Always hot there.
like Keys,
Yeah.
crocodiles, alligators. Excuse me.
So Alaska, legal, medicinal and recreational use. Legal to carry up to 1 ounce, 28 grams. Legal to grow up to 12 plants in a household with 2 adults over 21.
Sure.
Or an unlimited number commercially with a license. Alaska. From 2014.
Alaska's your kind of like outdoorsy, snowy forest, Like those oaks would definitely want to puff, if they're out there alone, fucking, or just them and their,
Toiling away.
them and their thoughts.
Yeah, California's legal, Colorado's legal,
Like
Connecticut.
hunting seals and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you'd definitely be easier baked, probably,
More.
Sure.
Also appreciate all that nature.
Yeah, drink it in.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I don't know. I think I'd be able to enjoy it without.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that.
If you had the option.
Well, not I'm sure, but I think that those guys would have pushed hard to get that right, And I don't know, in a country like Alaska, it's probably easier to push those kind of laws through, I guess. Well, not a country, but a state. It's a state, right? Yeah. And
But yeah, because I see all. There's similarities to the Khoisan in South Africa that smoke their ganja
yes,
and have been smoking their ganja for millennia.
yeah,
And these like oaks in that Alaskan area.
they probably
What
have
are
like
they?
a similar
They're called like
Alaskans.
native Alaskans.
Yeah.
Or
But yeah, is there like an indigenous kind of culture?
I believe
still
they are.
going
I
there?
believe there are many.
Wow.
I thought that's what you meant, that these guys, because they've been around for ages.
Isn't that so? Eskimo is not the correct term these days. I think Inuit, is that also not accepted?
Sure, I'm not sure. Really not sure, but
What on whether
I think
it's
if that was something that you were kind of like aware of, you could go with. We just mentioned a native Alaskan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What about if you
wouldn't offend
moved to America now and
become
had
a
a
native
kid,
Alaskan?
right? Or, yeah, I think they would have to
In
be
Alaska?
born there. No, in America.
Yeah.
Then-
America. Jesus,
Well, not necessarily in Alaska.
I've got family there.
But
Not in
your
Alaska.
kid would be an African American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this to me the other day.
We were
somewhere.
talking about
Yeah.
Or was it?
Yeah, it was all of us.
So, yes, if I agree with your idea that if you, regardless of your skin color, and if you're born in Africa, you're African, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're kind of thinking that the sort of general perception is that African American somehow that definition contains something about skin color?
Yes.
I don't know, does it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
So would you think that your light-skinned child would not qualify as an African American?
Did you say light or white?
Light.
My light is it? But isn't that also a
Your Caucasian child.
Derogatory.
derogatory term? No, but some people are light, eh? But
Some lighter skinned, darker skinned.
but that's within the. Correct me if I'm wrong. Latino ethnic group. Or no, and also within the African ethnic group, where you would have shades.
Yeah.
But if you had to say, like, you could have just said white, but you chose to say light.
Yeah, light skinned. I'm trying so hard not to be.
Okay, wait. Okay, so cool. He's born in America. He's light skinned.
Of African descent.
African descent.
I mean, would you call yourself an African?
He's your child.
Jeez, that's a very good question.
I would call myself an African. I was born in Africa.
Yeah, that's like the simple.
My parents and my grandparents were born in Africa.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. But I've never. Like,
But the term is.
but yes, no.
The Americans are referring to black people when they say African.
But this is what I'm saying. I agree with
Because Africa is where black people come from, according to
from Africa.
Yeah.
You mean originally?
Well, that's how the Americans are using that term.
Yes.
Yeah, to state that.
Is that term still in use? I mean, like
African Americans.
Yeah. Would you have to fill that in on a form? Like if you're trying to
I'm not sure.
take
I
out a
think
loan or something?
that's their current description for that particular ethnic group.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen here on
let's not say ethnic, just group, demographic.
We have little fields for like race here on forms, application forms.
Yeah.
I've seen that with the university applications. They're like black, white, coloured or Indian or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose, does it have some relevance in terms of like opportunities or?
But hold on.
Is it potentially just for statistics? Like, potentially? I mean, I'm sure there's some like stereotyping that goes on, but it could also potentially be for
maybe
statistics.
we're beating around the bush, guys. Maybe it's just blatant, all-out racism.
Yeah, because that shouldn't actually be a factor.
But then we have to agree on what does racism mean. But how did we go from racism to cannabis?
Exactly. How do we go?
How do we go from racism to cannabis?
From cannabis to racism via Lesotho.
Yeah.
And
America.
Harry Anslinger.
It's America that got us
said
started. With the Harry Anslinger.
The paper mill.
Okay, and then now it's illegal.
But even the word marijuana.
Marijuana.
It's like they gave it this. Even that's racial. That it's like a Mexican word, and it's like here it was dacha. Very similar thing where they give it this name that sounds like all exotic or weird or something, and then load that word up with all the stigma and all the negative
that's very
conditioning. So I think I always like to try and call it cannabis as opposed to marijuana, because I think cannabis is the actual sort of like botanical name.
Yeah,
I guess you could go and say that has also got its own set of ideology and stuff embedded in it, like if it comes from like Latin or whatever. But I think marijuana and dacha are a lot more negatively loaded. So yeah, I like to refer to it as cannabis, which is more neutral.
Yeah. As you said, it's like the botanical, the kind of not scientific, but like the kind of respectful term, if I may, like
Yeah, you could say scientific as well.
Yeah.
Neutral.
Yeah, neutral because that's the fact. That's what it is. Like cannabis.
And then and then CBD is a product of cannabis. It's
one of the other cannabinoids.
That's a molecule within the
compounds.
It's like a miracle plant.
Some
CBD.
would call it that. Yeah.
With all the shit that comes out of one plant.
Very versatile. THC is the better known cannabinoid.
Yes, that's what gets you high, right?
And
the CBD
is sort of...
Is it CBD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cannabidiol.
Is it like an extract?
It's the same. It's like THC, CBD, and then you have like CBG. There's a whole bunch of them.
Cannabinoids.
Or cannabinoids. And cannabinoids is...
Cannabinoids.
Cannabinoids.
Cannabinoids. Cannabinoids.
Yeah, many of them. And they have like a synergistic effect, entourage effect, where they all work harmoniously together.
Okay.
So a bit of CBD and a bit of THC together will have a different effect compared to just either one on its own.
So CBD oil is it mostly CBD then? It's like you've done something to try extract CBD.
Exactly. You would
cannabinoids.
extract it from a low THC plant.
Okay.
Yeah. Just high CBD.
And these CBDs, they have like healing properties with certain cells in the body and stuff like
as
that.
well.
That's been like kind of proven in a way from
there's
people
a lot
have some
more
good
research.
pudding.
Yeah. There still needs to be a lot more research, but there is more being done. There's some cool. There's a site called CBD Project, and then there's another one called CBD Oils and Edibles.
Yeah.
And on there, they kind of give you links to all actual like studies, like scientific studies that have been done. So it's not just kind of anecdotal. So there'll be a list of like, okay, so for anxiety or epilepsy or arthritis.
That's rad that this shit's happening. Like people are actually
super cool.
doing this.
And this is like all these cannabinoids work together. You were saying.
Yeah.
And these guys, these scientists are going in there and checking out the individual cannabinoids and seeing how they react with, like they're basically just mixing and how things have different effects. And through this, they're finding like awesome medical kind of benefits, right?
Yeah. Suppositories, topical balms, oils, vape, kind of, oils. Really, we have an endocannabinoid system, which is kind of like within us, which is built like receptors, which are there to absorb those different compounds.
What do you mean? They kind of that is their sole purpose?
CB1 and CB2 receptors. I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't actually know that.
I'd
much
like to
about
look
it.
up how many like receptors we have, like, because is there something for each? I mean, would there be like a receptor for each kind of chemical in existence? Because everything would have some kind of effect on you, and who knows, bro?
Well, this is the thing. They don't like. What's crazy is that if this is the case, it either we don't know, like this is one bunch of receptors that we've now discovered, but there's loads of other receptors, like probably to other what would you call this, like grouping of molecules, these cannabinoids, like this
compound, I think.
Compounds. We probably have loads of receptors for other compounds too, but they've discovered this one, which I would think means that throughout the years, like we've been using it so much as a species that this thing throughout
it's like part of our evolution or something.
Somehow these receptors popped up,
which
could be the case for a lot of other receptors which haven't been discovered yet,
and
then which makes even more of an argument for, legalize weed. That's the argument, basically. Like, if you could prove that we as humans are designed to function better under the influence of cannabinoids, why is it illegal?
Argument. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the big question. Like, that shows that something else must be going on.
Must be power.
Yeah, power, money, control. Like, I mean, it's so beneficial, like so versatile.
The status quo. Just maintaining the status quo the way it is.
But I mean, who's benefiting?
A lot of people.
Yeah. Or
the 1%.
Those in power.
The 1%, definitely.
So yeah, it is. It's CB1 and CB2. Currently 2 known subtypes of cannabinoid receptors. CB1 receptor expressed mainly in the brain, but also in lungs, liver and kidneys. CB2 receptors expressed mainly in the immune system.
Sweet.
Yeah, that requires a whole dedicated look.
Yeah. But yeah. So the pot, the reefer, the Maui.
Maui wowie.
Sweet Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's
What are you saying?
I was gonna say, and then there's dealers. Like, I mean, I don't have much experience with dealers, but like, there's that, like in pot smoking films and stuff, the dealer always has this kind of character type.
Hawaiian shirt,
Yeah, always
dark
quite
shades,
entertaining.
ponytail.
Kind of weird to deal with sometimes.
But dealers are kind of always weird to deal with, aren't they? Like, depends, I suppose.
Yeah.
I haven't had much experience with dealers, but I could imagine, just from my stereotype that I have in my head, that the experiences that I have had with them, it's always been a balls up.
Yeah.
It's been like, I can't come now because I'm
Lambert's Bay.
I'm in Lambert's Bay.
2 cool palm trees.
I'm in Lambert's Bay. And you're like, but we arranged for this. This is important to me that this happens today. I've planned. They're just so unreliable. But I suppose
supply and demand.
The ones that are on it are just like there, like quick. Okay, so cannabis is awesome. And more people should do it. Like, try it out, guys. Please, nothing's gonna go wrong. Like,
is that a guarantee?
Yeah.
Are you putting your
just pop a disclaimer in there, Jared? Fuck.
Are you
indoors?
Like, I'll put it like I said in the beginning. I don't know what I'm talking about, but just try some weed.
Make sure you're in a safe environment.
Hold on.
If you do.
I wasn't finished with that sentence. I need to finish it. I need to finish that properly. Just try some weed. I'm not finished with that. Just try some weed. No, like... Okay, just try some weed if you're curious about it. And if you under the age of... what is the legal age?
Over.
Under the age.
Oh,
it's... No, there is no legal.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Shit, but in Colorado, there must be something like that, huh?
Yeah.
What's
is it
that?
18, 21? I don't know. Well, alcohol's 21, no?
Yeah, there must be some date for that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there is a date in your location...
Well, that's part of the Dacha couple's angle, is that responsible adult use.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes. And you're of legal... Well, you're not... Well, right. Yeah. Just try weed if you of a legal age, and if you're curious about it, and do it in a safe place. I would suggest you fly to Colorado and you go try it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're curious.
Yeah, when I've been in countries where it's been legal,
It's so
I've
chill.
tried it, like in Amsterdam, for example, and it was a positive experience for me. I really enjoyed my time there. It was warm, good memories that I have from there, you know. So
Me too. I mean,
it's a
treat.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, really.
But like, even these days, like, what's the chances of getting busted these days for weed? Probably still, it's still cuck if it's illegal. It must be legalized. Enough's enough. Come on. Get your act together, guys. Come on, look at the facts. You can make some money out of it if you want to.
Yeah.
Big time.
If you want to, what's holding up this whole thing? You know.
Mm.
Well,
It's
with this
all-
court case, it is a step in the right direction. We'll have to see how that.
Yeah, what comes of that?
I support them 100%. Also, the Dache couple, go, don't give up. You know,
Yeah.
like it may be hard, but this is like a very important thing. So
A luta continua.
yeah,
I mean, just the benefits are so. There's the whole environmental aspect of it as well, which is huge. Like, you know, it grows very quickly. It grows to maturity in like 3 to 4 months, or it can.
Yeah.
Which is like meters tall, you know, like 3-4 meters. And like you were saying earlier, you know, you can use so many different parts of it for different things.
the hemp seeds are crazy.
High in protein,
yeah.
so very good vegetarian or
nutrition.
vegan protein, yeah. And the oil pressed from the seeds is high in omega-3 and omega-6. It's got like the right ratio of the omegas as
That's
well.
awesome.
Has some other like vitamins and minerals. It's high in vitamin E as well. So that's what makes it so good for cosmetics products like skincare,
Balms.
yeah, and even shampoos, conditioners, soap, all that kind of thing. Obviously the fibers for like the textiles and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and not only like clothing, but like building textiles and materials.
Like for interiors, a lot of people make curtains or like bedding, and it's like it's breathable, it's durable and long lasting. So it's like for clothing, it's comfortable to wear. So there's the clothing, the building. That's huge as well. Just kicking off in South Africa now, but it's quite a lot happening or some that I've seen in the States and even in the UK as well.
Hemp houses, eh?
Yeah,
Where the walls are hemp.
made from
Does it insulate lekker?
Yeah, that's one of the big things. One of the big benefits. It's got excellent insulation properties for sound and for temperature. So it could have applications in like sound studios, for instance, or something like that. And it's just also sustainable because it grows so quickly and there's so much of it in such a short time.
It grows basically everywhere.
Yeah, it can, or a lot of places. So whatever, like the definition of sustainable is being able to keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
You know? And hemp can do that.
Yeah,
Even
that's incredible.
plastics.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
biodegradable.
Biodegradable plastics. That's the fucking answer right there to all the plastic bottle stuff. Like and the plastic in the ocean. That's getting a lot of media attention these days. And like this is a potential solution. Like, yeah.
Big
Like
time.
you'd replace all that plastic in no time. Yeah, with
And
biodegradable.
There's even some like BMW and Mercedes-Benz use like hemp biocomposites in some of their door panels. So it's already being adopted.
Yeah, by some big boys.
In terms of the building, along with the insulation, it also almost like preserves the air quality in the structure. So I think it was the National Science Museum in the UK built one of their like storage warehouses out of hemp, specifically for the thermoregulation and the regulation of the air quality properties, because they stored all these like fragile exhibits. you know, like old, whatever it might be. So
hectic.
mm.
Oh man, it sounds like a wonder plant in a way, eh? Like
I mean,
big old solution staring everything right in the face.
they must legalize it already.
Yeah,
But
Another crazy thing is phytoremediation, where cannabis can draw like toxic stuff out of the soil, and then it basically is embedded in the stalk, like toxic, like nuclear, I don't know if it's like that kind of thing,
Okay.
Or like heavy metals, for instance. I don't know about nuclear, but I think, well, they were talking about using it kind of in the Fukushima area, but I don't know if that was just like a
shit
meme
out of the ground.
Yeah. So like sort of in the
Toxins and
northern areas of South Africa, or like where all the mine dumps are and stuff like that,
to neutralize it.
like it can absorb like the metals out of the soil, the water, like in the area. Phytoremediation.
And then is that stored in the plant? And then what?
Yeah.
You use the plant for stuff?
Yeah, like say then if you had to build with it, then you're effectively putting all of that into the...
That like carbon or whatever is stuck in it.
Yeah. There's actually a word called sequestered, where like it's storing the carbon dioxide like away kind of thing. So you almost like, that's how a lot of hemp like products, or I guess especially the building, can be carbon negative, because the amount of carbon or carbon dioxide that the plant absorbed while it was growing, and then you kind of just putting that away, and you're using less in the whole process. So not only carbon neutral, but even carbon negative sometimes.
And like, just for people out there that would be like, okay, I want to get behind this, like it's important to me, I want this to push through to legislature to a legislature level, where this can happen. What is the best way to go about like supporting that cause? Is it like, I suppose getting on Facebook is one way, or
I guess so.
Are there like petitions and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's petitions, and you could support the campaigns of like the Dagga couple, for instance, and I think also just raising awareness in your own way, like in your personal circles, and then also like supporting industries like that where you can, to kind of create a demand for the products.
That would be a crucial one, just to further the cause, like to keep it sustaining, like those businesses need finance to
for sure. Like if you can get behind that idea, it makes so much sense just to support or make that decision. Also in your buying, support those businesses.
Voting with your wallet,
very important.
Totally.
I think these days especially, I mean, if enough people do it, then the business will just have to change, because it's all about the bottom line.
Demand.
And talking about, that's a very good point, talking about voting with your wallet, how about voting with your likes? Just give the Tangent podcast a bit of just a little click, just to keep things lekker, if you enjoy what you're saying. If not, then maybe press unlike. I don't know if that's there is one of those things.
Even negative comments.
But those are also good. Any kind of feedback is awesome.
You can really learn a lot from negative comments.
It's like me encouraging.
But I think it's been some awesome comments out there and stuff like that. So, geez, I'm rambling. Trying to wrap this baby up.
Wrap it up like the big old...
the big old cock-sucking motherfucker that it is. Jeez. Well, it is explicit, so get those cocksuckers out there.
Parental guidance.
You can say fuck.
Explicit content.
Fuck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. We should swear as much as like fucking swear for the fuck of it. yes, so thanks for supporting us, guys. The 11 subscribers that are there, love you guys.
Still a strong 11. No one's left yet.
The magnificent 11. Whoever you are, like we enjoy it.
Keep smashing that like button.
Guys, Dane.
This has been real.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and Shale, thank you very much. It's been very insightful and informative, and really enjoyed having your side of point of view perspective.
Thanks.
On the tangents. And
thank you, Shale.
Thank you.
As always, Dan, it's been really honor to talk to you, and privilege, gratitude. Grateful for this to be happening. Look at this technology. Look what we're doing with words.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Give thanks.
Give thanks.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.